Hi guys, Doc Gatch here. For today, we're going to be doing a first and exclusive Philippine review of the 6th generation Ford Explorer. Tara, samahan niyo ako as we explore the new Explorer. Before anything else, please consider liking and sharing this video and subscribing to my channel as I give you medical, surgical, and inspirational advices, tech and car reviews just like this one, and anything under the sun. Special shoutout nga pala to Sir Glenn of Ford Subic. Now back to the review. Most of you might have heard the Ford Explorer was selling like hotcakes during the last quarter of 2020 up to early 2021. This was because Ford Philippines offered a 500 to 700,000 Philippine peso discount for the Explorer. Now comment down below if isa ka sa maswerte na nakakuha ng malaking discount. During that time, this could only mean two things. Number one, Ford Philippines is closing down, or number two, they're coming up with a new variant. And true enough, the 2020 Ford Explorer is ready to conquer the Philippine SUV market. If isa ka sa hindi nakakuha ng big discount for the previous generation and had the patience to wait, well, this video is for you. Now the overall look. The 6th generation Explorer is not only better as expected, but generally bigger as well. Looking up front, the Explorer is obviously deviating from the Land Rover look with a trapezoidal grille to a more of a Hyundai-like hexagonal-shaped front grille, giving it an elegant, more than a sporty type of look. The LED headlamps taper to the sides with the DRL as a straight, thin line on the top. The fog lamps are straight LED lights as well. Below the fog lamps are functional air vents for aerodynamics. The silver front skid plate adds a sporty and massive look to the Explorer. It has a front-facing camera for the 360 view function, plus front parking sensors. Now over to the sides, you get 20-inch hand-polished wheels. Side mirrors are shiny black with incorporated LED turn signals and side cameras as well. The addition of more lines and creases to the side becomes very obvious. This accent line extends to the door handles with a little bit of chrome to emphasize such a line. There's also a silver trim at the bottom of the doors. I like the way the Explorer made all its pillars glossy black except for the C-pillar with the same color as its body, giving the illusion that the front and the back of the roof appear floating. It has polished aluminum roof grills, which is great for carrying loads on the roof. The gas door is capless, making it more easy to refuel. Now going to the back. The back can be described as simple yet bold. There is this big silver trim with the Explorer logo in the middle and huge LED tail lights to complement its big back. It has two functional exhaust pipes with silver rear skid plates that round off to the ones up front. This is a limited 4x4 10-speed automatic transmission trim, the only variant being offered by Ford Philippines as of the making of this video. It has a 2.3-liter EcoBoost engine with 304 horsepower and 420 nanometers of torque. It was Ford which introduced the hands-free power liftgate, so this is becoming a standard for most trims. The third row seats now only fold forward and no more stowing back as in the 5th generation. All of these can be controlled with these buttons now placed on the right side of the car. Now let's go inside. Looking at the dashboard, the infotainment system has an 8-inch horizontal screen in the middle. You can basically set up a lot of things from here, like the audio, aircon, navigation, dashboard settings, and even the ambient lighting. Speaking of which, this trim has ambient lighting in the middle and all around the car. You can change the light to different colors like purple, blue, pink, depending on your mood. The instrument panel is not all LCD screen. You have your traditional rev counter on the left and the speedometer on the right. The digital display on the center gives you a lot of information about the car, like the driving modes, which I find cool because of the video effects, just like this. Tire pressure, pre-collision assist, lane centering system, fuel consumption, adaptive cruise control, and so much more. The steering wheel is electronically telescopic and tilting and has a soft touch of leather. So you adjust using this round button down here on the side. This has Ford ePass or electric power assisted steering, making it even easier for the driver to steer the wheels. Here, you have your buttons for the adaptive cruise control, volume, different menu settings for the dashboard, tuning, and phone control buttons. This also comes with a paddle shifter for the manual transmission mode. The dashboard has soft touch with the wood-like trim here. The aircon vents are big. There are also physical buttons for the audio control, 360 camera with different views, climate control, seat ventilation with heating and cooling options, and steering wheel heater. One of my favorites from this Explorer is the seat ventilation for both driver and passenger. You can actually feel a breeze on your back and seats when you turn it on. It has 3 fan speeds. This is useful when you just got inside your car, parked under the heat of the sun for several hours. The transmission is a rotary dial type, so you just turn the knob for the park, neutral, reverse, and drive mode. I see that this is the trend now, cars shying away from the traditional shift sticks. It's quite odd, but you can eventually get used to it. You have your electronic handbrake button here, your brake hold button, which I find useful when you're stuck in traffic, your auto engine off and on when you're on a full stop, hill descent control, and your drive mode knob. This hole here perfectly fits the car keys. You have 2 cup holders here in the center console. This supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There is a wireless charging pad here, but it's not flat. It's like 45 degrees inclined. So I sometimes have difficulty placing my phone this way. But nevertheless, it's working. And speaking of phones, I think there are a lot of cubby holes for your phones. You have one here, and another one down here. There are charging ports inside this cubby hole, one for USB-A and USB-C, and another 12-volt charging port. Very innovative thing that I find here is that you can have the wires of your phone pass through this opening with this lid closed. Inside this armrest is a huge compartment with another 12-volt charging port. You have a total of 12 B&O speakers inside the car. Here you have your control for the door locks, 3 memory settings for the seat and steering wheel configuration for different drivers, the side mirror controls for folding and positioning. By the way, you also have blind spot monitoring alert on each side mirrors. And these are your buttons for your windows. You have your button here for your tailgate, and a knob for your headlights and fog lamps, which can be set on automatic. The lane keeping assist button is incorporated in the turn signal lever. Both the driver and passenger seats have electric 10-way seat adjustment levers on the side, plus lumbar support, which gives instant support for your lower back. This Explorer comes with a dual-panel moonroof, which gives an airier atmosphere inside the car. Dual because there's one for the front row and another one for the second row. Now, a fun fact. Alam niyo ba the difference between a sunroof and a moonroof? Both are openings on the roof of a car. But the sunroof is a solid cover while a moonroof is a transparent cover. The middle row can seat 3 persons with a lot of leg, knee, and headroom. It has its own climate control knob, charging ports, 220-volt outlet, and a seat heater. Each side has its individual LED map lights, aircon vents, and look at this, a built-in retractable window shade. All 3 seats fold forward individually, giving you a maximum cargo space of 2.5 cubic meters. And there's an armrest here which you can also use. The access to the third row is done by pulling this lever to make the seat move and recline forward. Back on the third row, you will not feel claustrophobic. You still have a lot of knee, leg, and enough headroom too. The drawback is that because this is a 33% seat configuration and not 60-40, you cannot move the middle seat forward for that extra leg room for the third row. But even though only the 2 seats are moved forward, both rows can still have more than enough space. And a lot of aircon vents too, one here and one down here. There are tons of compartments and cup holders here as well. And you also have your own map light. So in general, sitting here on the third row is unexpectedly quite convenient, even for adults. Now, our review will not be complete without a test drive, so samahan niyo ako as we drive this car around. The first thing that's gonna impress you as you enter the car is just a huge amount of space the Explorer offers in front, middle, and the third row seats. There's even a big space for the cargo, even with the third row seats up. The height of this car is just right for me, and the recess in the middle of the hood gives you a better view of what's up front. The engine is quite responsive and the transmission is very smooth. Suspension is good. As you can see, the camera is still stable even though the road is not that smooth. And you can feel the E-Pass dito sa steering wheel. As to the gas consumption, I've been driving this car for 3 weeks now, and my drive from Bulacan to Subic back and forth gave me a 12 kilometers per liter consumption, which I think is very decent enough for such a huge car like this with a 4x4 2.3 liter engine. So that's combined highway and city driving, and I'm on eco mode. Ngayon naman, discuss naman natin yung safety features of the car. So this car has a lot of airbags, front, knee, and side airbags. First time ko na try yung lane keeping assist, and it's really very useful in keeping you right inside your lane. So there's this feature that it can alert you or alert and aid you in keeping the car inside the lane. So if it aids you, automatic niya i-turn yung steering wheel na ibabalik ka doon sa lane. And kung madaming beses na yun nangyayari, it will alert you na if you need to rest, if you need to have coffee or sleep, i-alert ka din niya. First time ko din makagamit ng adaptive cruise control. Ang nagamit ko lang before is just the cruise control. So ang difference nila is that if there's a car in front of you that's really slow, the car will also automatically slow down. So, and then once the road is clear, it will go back to the setting of your adaptive cruise control. Isa pang safety feature ng car is the blind spot alerts. So if there's a car na nasa blind spot mo, yung blind spot alert sa side mirror will appear. And of course, sa parking naman, the 360-degree view camera is very useful. Aside from the parking sensors na nag-alert, meron ka ring 360 view of what's around the car. An additional safety feature of this car is that when you're on drive or reverse mode and you open your car door, the gear automatically goes back to park mode. As to the price of the car, it's a best buy comparing to the previous generation because it's a 4x4 2.3 liter engine plus all the features na pinakita ko sa inyo. So this basically covers the general features of the 6th generation Ford Explorer. Let me know what you think by giving your comments down below. Thanks for watching, and once again, this is Doc Gatch. Catch you on my next video.